So just to recap, focus on the process, not the outcome. By focusing on the process, you will be able to see progress in the child's development, as well as their strengths and weaknesses much more easily. All right? So let's go to number 7. Level your expectations. All right? It is important that an observer is reflecting on children's learning with both age-appropriate expectations, as well as the child's personal development in mind. For example, a 3-year-old will have less developed motor skills than a 5-year-old, right? You can't compare the two. A 3-year-old is definitely learning at a lower level or at a different level than a 5-year-old. And so should be expected to perform at a different level. Additionally, it's also helpful to review any notes on the child being observed to understand their individual development, right? Once again, we're working with all types of children from every learning spectrum. You'll have children who have developmental delays, children with Asperger's syndrome, children with autism. You'll have children who are handicapped or somewhat challenged. You're going to have children, again, difference in ages, right? Boys and girls, so many different elements, all right? So it's very important to level your expectations and also review any notes that have, or documentations or observations that may have already been put in place so you can have a better idea or assessment of the child that you are observing and what you're looking for, okay? Let's go to number 8. Interpret your results. Once you are finished observing, make sure to take time to analyze and interpret your results. Now you can make subjective comments based on your notes, identify patterns, and compare back to previous observations. So before, when we said to remain objective and we were talking about child number 1 taking away the doll from child number 2, right? So if you look back in your previous notes and you see that this child is always taking toys away from other children, then you can gather the, not assumption, but then you can gather through your observations that this child tends to be very possessive, or this child doesn't like to share. So how can we work on building their sharing abilities, right? Their sharing skills. How can we work on helping them to become better at sharing with other children, right? And not always taking things away from others. How do we teach them that it's wrong to just grab? Maybe it's better to ask. Use your words, right? Ask for it, don't just take it, right? So through your observations, you'll be able to see progress as well as consistencies. Some may be good and some may be bad. How can we be better or more effective at helping these children grow from their weaknesses or the things they're lacking? Okay? And that's why we document observations. Number 9, reflect on learnings alone and with others, all right? So once you've interpreted your results, it is helpful to reflect, share, and discuss, right? Beyond revisiting learnings on your own, it's also constructive to share with other educators as well as the child's family as to involve them in the learning process. We touched on this a bit. It's important that you share this with the family so that they can also be included and implement what you're teaching them at home, right? And they're also going to do vice versa. They're going to tell you what's happening at home so that you can also continue what they're training at home at school or at daycare. Also, you want to let the other educators know, right? Because we all work as a team, right? Other educators are going to be working with specific children. And, you know, children sometimes latch on to other educators more quickly than they do to maybe myself. Maybe, you know, little Bonnie will have more of an attachment with Professor Lisa than she would with me. And therefore, she will act differently with Professor Lisa than she would with me, right? So Professor Lisa, from her observations, will then come and tell me, hey, this is what I've noticed with little Bonnie, and maybe this will help you with your interactions with her in getting her to listen better or to participate. or to just get more familiar and build her trust. Okay? And number 10, finally, number 10, implement necessary changes where necessary, right? So you have to be adaptable. You have to be able to adapt your activities to any situation, as well as age groups, as well as, things that may come up. Incorporating learnings into your practice is the most important step of observation, as it will ensure the best learning outcomes for the child and improve your skills as an educator. So I'll say that again. Incorporating learnings into your practice is the most important step of observations, as it will ensure the best learning outcomes for the child and improve your skills as an educator. Learnings can be incorporated by recommending further observation in a specific area, modifying lessons, or altering the way you or other educators interact with the child. Okay? So I think that speaks for itself. Basically, in anything that you're doing, you want to incorporate some type of learning activity that's going to help these child build on their development. That's what we're here for. Helping children grow. Making learning fun, right? Helping them develop